Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. And today I want to play around with just a little honeydew list, and this is going to be a real simple one. We have our cats, and they of course love their little churu tube treats, but we want a better place to store them because if we keep them in the food cabinet, anytime we go to grab one, they all hear it, they all come running. But we want to keep it away from their reach, of course. So I'm going to make a little wall hanger that for me, it'll work for storing these churus and cat treats, but perhaps for you, it would work for TV remotes or any kind of, smaller items. It could definitely be scaled up, but we're going to create the design and see what we can do with it, see if that'll solve a quick problem, get one thing off the honeydew list. So that sounds interesting to you. Stay tuned. I'm going to jump right into it. For this design, I'm going to be basing it on our need for a storage place for our cat treats here. We like to keep these handy, but not so handy that the cats can get at them. So we thought a small kind of decorative wall-mounted caddy would be great for them. But this is definitely something you could use to hold other things. It definitely could hold pens and pencils or maybe TV remotes, really up to you. I'm also going to try to add an aspect to where we can add an engraving. So let's jump over into SketchUp so we can take a look at what I came up with. So here is the basic design in 3D. It's fairly simple. We have our inner pieces, and I did angle the front out just a little bit to give us a little more space, but it kind of keeps them tight at the bottom. And we have a little lip in the front just to make it easier to grab at them, but plenty of space up front here for an engraving, but also space up here at top if we wanted to add something. I've added a keyhole mount here in the back, so you could use that with a nail or a screw into the wall, or you could probably mount this with command strips and such. For assembly, it is kind of just a tab and slot here. The front one, I did not put the slats in the front for this piece, so that is just straight on there, so that it wouldn't get in the way of your engraving. But we do have it locked in the back and the bottom to hold it straight, and then when you glue it up, you would just glue that flat piece along this front piece there. So that still locks in together, it just leaves this cleaner for engravings and such. So when it comes to assembly, you want to assemble your kind of from the middle out. So you'll put your bottom piece in with this middle section, add your two outer pieces, lock them into the back, and then you can glue the front. But we'll show that as we get to the assembly phase. But all in all, fairly simple design. I left these kind of with a lip here, just I think it adds a little bit of an aesthetic, but that does make it a little bit harder to adjust the sizing for different materials because you want this interior size to stay the same, and so your slots have to move out this way, and then if you get too wide, this gets narrower. So in the file that I offer on my store, I do have 3 different sizes in 3mm, 1/8 inch, and 4mm, which are kind of your typical ones for this. So looking at the layout, we have that right over here. This does fit on a 12 by 12 inch sheet of material. We have all of our pieces here, and you could drop in your engravings on here if you wanted, but this should work on any diode laser, CO2 laser that can cut 3mm, 1/8 inch material, give or take, like that, and should do that fairly successfully without a lot of material needed. So let's jump out into the shop. We'll take a look at the material we're going to use, and then we'll jump into Alien Space software to get this set up on the laser. All right, back out here in the shop, and I've got some options for material. We've got true flat plywood. This is 1/8 inch material. It is an MDF core, so we want to be careful when gluing this together that we get a good structural joint. MDF and CA glue isn't always the best joint. It becomes really brittle. So we might be looking at some very clear drying wood glue. For my first test, I've got my 3mm Baltic birch plywood. That's kind of my standby. It would work well for this, but I think perhaps for the finished one, if we go that route, I've got this pre-stained. It's just got kind of like a gray wash on it. Just dress it up a little bit. But let's jump into the computer with our design. Let's add the final details and get it sent off to the Aliencell diode laser. All right, we've got Aliencell space open here. We want to go ahead and grab the snapshot. I went ahead and threw the material in the laser. We're going to be using the 3mm Baltic birch on this one. Actually, this is, I measured, this is a different batch. It's 1/8 inch. So it's like 3.12 millimeter, a little bit different, a little bit frustrating. There's slightly differences, but let's go ahead and import our design. So I did save it as both 3mm and a 1/8 inch. So we're going to grab the SVG of the 1/8 inch material. I'm going to go ahead and measure this at select point. We're going to come right over here about in the middle of it. Machine's going to move over. It's going to measure it right in that spot. This is going to be a test for fit, but let's go ahead and throw in some engravings. So I also got those prepared so we can import those. I have a couple of them. We're going to put one on the front here. This is just a little cat treats jar. I'm going to hold shift to kind of get that to scale uniformly. Drop that right there. And then another option we have for the top is this pause off that I created. Now this is an outline. These are objects. You can switch this vector to fill by clicking over here. Now you'll notice that it has filled in, it's filling the inside and the outside, but we want to adjust those. So I'm going to first ungroup these. We're going to select the inner one, holding shift, selecting the outer one. We're going to grab the subtract, and that will subtract the inside from the outside. We're going to do the same thing here, hold shift. And then finally for that. Now those look good. We can go ahead and regroup these. And this, I want to see how it looks over here on the top. So we're going to just control and scroll wheel zooms in, shift scrolls side to side. Yeah, we're going to bring that in right about there. So I like putting these on different layers. So I'm going to select both of those. I'm going to retag them as red. And we're going to go with, it's saying, I've got it set to 3mm basswood plywood. We're going to need to make some adjustments here. I think they're here. I need to bump this up a little bit, just get it nice and dark. We're going to jump it up to 55% power. 400 millimeters a second is fine. Line interval of 0.11 is okay. And the air assist, yeah, we want it on just barely. This is 13%. That is fine. We just need enough air to keep the smoke and vapors away from the lens. Now the rest of them, and I probably should have set these up first, but the rest of these, there we go, grab those. These are going to be a cut. And it's saying 100% power, 15 speed. I know with Baltic birch, I need to slow that down just a little bit. We're going to drop that down to 12. We're going to go ahead and lower the focus by about half. That's going to be about 1.5 millimeter in this case. Kerf offset, I've done some tests on this. We want about 0.09 millimeters of an offset, and that should make the adjustments just for a nice friction fit, but shouldn't be too tight, but it'll not have a gap. We do want full air assist, air purifier. We don't have that set up. So that should all be good. Let's go ahead and hit process. And then we'll hit start on the device. And the machine will start doing its thing. So I've been using the Aliencell laser for a little while now and really enjoying it. The engravings definitely are faster due to its acceleration. It gets up to speed a lot faster on the lasers. The air pump is really nice. I love that you can really dial in the airspeed percentage in the software. The air quality index is nice, showing you that the smoke is being extracted, and then the front panel touchscreen gives some really nice information, allows a lot control of the laser. One of the nicest features is this kind of in software view. You can turn on the camera in there and kind of monitor it with nice safety. But this laser is making nice cuts here. The air assist is doing a really good job. So let's pull it out of the laser, see how it looks. All right, we're looking good. This took 8 minutes, 50 seconds, and everything cut through beautifully. So let's get these parts out and see how they fit together. See if I did my drawing right. All right, these came out nice and clean. The cuts on both sides, I haven't done any cleanup on there. There's just little spots maybe where it started. Barely see them. So really happy with how clean these came out. Here's a little bit on here. You might see it just from the rail it was probably sitting on. Other than that, yeah, see some there too. They're looking good. I'm very happy with these parts. If I needed to clean them up, I might just quickly sand them off. On the text here, I think if I would have done an outline afterwards, would have dressed that up just a little bit more as well. But it's looking okay. So let's get this fit together. This one's just a trial piece. I'm going to be using some of this Boss Dog glue. This dries fast. It dries clear. It's a wood glue, so it's easy to clean up and everything. So I mentioned the kerf of 0.09 millimeter with this Baltic birch, and that should mean that these parts just fit nicely. You see they're kind of holding together without being glued, but they're not like so tight that you have to, slam them together. So you could play around with that. It could maybe even be just a little bit more. You could go 0.1 millimeter, but I don't like having it so tight that it starts pressing the fibers and hurting them. So let's see if we can get this all put together. The assembly is fairly simple. I'm just using the white glue on the inner pieces first. We get that center post dialed in, then we get those two outside pieces glued on. Just making sure to get glue on the slots and tabs nice and cleanly. I'm going to go ahead and put it onto the back panel, get those lined up, and then just take a quick paper towel, clean off any squeeze out. Repeat on the front, get the slots and tabs covered, place it in place, clean it up. We're good to go. All right, so this actually came out pretty well. Everything fit together really nicely. Glue is still kind of drying on this, but so far so good, and the churros do fit in there, and I think I'll be able to get a whole box in there, and you'll be able to see it. This does kind of cover the back one, so whether you want that to be seen or not, you might need to extend this up, but that's why we also have the logo on the front. But I do want to add a little more definition to these. So I'm going to try a trick of outlining it. So let's hop back into the software. I'll show you how I'm going to set that up real quick, and then we'll get this done. But this time we're going to do it on the true flat plywood, so it looks even better, and see if we can get that engraving to really pop in that as well. All right, so we're back in the software. I've reloaded the same file, but we want to add an outline of these to make them pop. Now, some others will give you multiple options on these. Like you can do multiple operations, but if not, what we can do is we can simply copy this and we can paste it. And then what I'm going to do is turn the outline off, but I'm going to go ahead and retag this. Let's make it green, and we are not going to fill this. Well, let's go back and it'll snap right in. Otherwise, you can use your alignment tools up here to center them. But you'll see now we have the green outlining the red. And so we can, with our green selected, we're just going to come over here. I am going to bump this up to about 65 and give a nice dark outline to the inner engrave. And then we're going to go do the same thing over here. So we're just going to copy that, paste it over here, retag this to the green, turn off the fill, bump that up to 65, and then it should, there we go, snap in place. And now even on these smaller details, it should outline that as well. So everything else is going to be roughly the same, except for I do need to change the cut options for the true flat. So with that, we can actually do this at 15. It's a little bit easier to cut. We're going to keep the same, lowering the focus and the curve. So all we got to do is now make sure that it fits onto our piece of material. We'll send it off to the laser and get it glued up, see how it looks. And so here it is, the completed caddy. It's holding those true treats really well, so this is going to work out great for us. I think also the outlining of the text and the graphic adds just a little bit of detail, cleans it up just a little bit. I think that's a good tip to try on some of your engravings if you just really want to give it that extra edge. So this is something you could use for a lot of things. You could use it for remote storage. You could use it for pens, pencils, scissors. I don't know. It's just a wall hanging caddy. I'm going to use it for pet treats. Maybe you have another use for it. So I will have these files out available on my Etsy shop if you're interested in playing around with them. I don't ask a whole lot for them, but it is a great way that you can play around with this file, not have to create it yourself, and it does help support this channel as well. In addition to that, I will have links down below. The Aliencell diode laser is becoming one of my favorite lasers in the shop. As far as diodes go, this is really great. Check out my review on that, and I will have links to that as well. True flat plywood, also one of my favorite materials to play with, especially when you're doing a finished project like this. It's easily cleaned up, and coupled with that Boss Dog glue that I used, that dries clear, but it's a PVA glue, so it's a water wash up. So it's really easy to clean up the squeeze out without getting residue and such and fingerprints stuck around. And then it also cleans up any of the vaporization. But the Aliencell does a really good job with that air assist and the air extraction to kind of keep that vaporization down. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I will try my best to get back to them right away. Otherwise, do check out those links. Some of them will be affiliate links. They do help me out. It's a great way to support this channel. Another way you can support the channel is become a channel member. We do a few extra things every month for channel members, but all of my primary content is always going to be free here on YouTube. I don't like putting things behind a paywall, but some people asked, hey, how can we support you a little bit more? So we have a channel member area, and we have a little bit of fun with it. So if that interests you, I would love your support. But as always, just happy to be out here sharing what I'm doing and hopefully inspiring you as well. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. If you like this, hit that like button, throw a comment down below. But most importantly, get out in your workshop and make something too. We'll catch you next time.